Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? How are you guys doing today? Hey, this is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas, with this inspirational morning walk. For first-time listeners, I just get some exercise in the mornings, and I share my thoughts with you guys. Whatever I'm inspired to talk about that day, I'll share with you. But it's another beautiful day in Houston. It's another beautiful day. I get some much-needed walking in. But yes, today, man, for the first time listeners, if you like what you're hearing, you can go on YouTube and check out what we have there. We have lots of other these little talks there, and you can find something to bless you. About over 200 and something of them there, different different subjects. So you can find something to bless you there. Something to bless you there. So if you're on there, you can just subscribe as you're on there. They can just help me get the word out to more people. So, but what today I want to follow up on what I talked about on Monday. I want to follow up. Karen McKeon, good morning. How are you doing? Yes, it's a beautiful day here, Karen. Nice, beautiful skies. I'm just trying to hide from that sun, but it's nice, beautiful sun. Good morning, Jillian. It's a great day, but it's not hot. Just the late 60s, just around the 70s mark. So it's nice. It's really nice. Yeah, so I want to follow up on a little bit what we talked about on Monday. Remember I said over the weekend I had, was talking to some friends, and one friend I was talking to, and the topic come up about these generational curses, and he said, man, Gregory, how we know that's just not life, right? How we know that's not, why it got to be something deep and it's just not life? Patricia Blackman, good morning. How are you doing? Yeah, so I want to follow up on that and just do some reminders to some people where, a lot of things going on in our life. We might say, oh, it's just life, but that's what God's saying, the lack of knowledge. His people perish for the lack of knowledge, and it's through knowledge just shall be delivered, right? It's just like you're going to take an exam, right? You study for the exam because you're trying to get knowledge. You're trying to figure out those concepts. If it's math, all the concepts, or you're trying to retain the information, get that knowledge so you could go and ace the test, right? And it's just like this here. And you don't know, if you go in the exam, you don't know something, you can't get credit for that particular question. And if you don't know, a lot of it more than you will fail that exam, right? So it's just like this, what God's saying. There's a lot of things we don't know, and if we don't know, right? So we don't get credit for that part of life. And we might be struggling. Morning, Tessa. Good morning. Tessa Hunt, cuz, how are you doing today? And we might be struggling with some things in life just because we lack the knowledge of it, right? So, and a lot of people just accept, man, okay, this is going on, this is life, it's not my season, and I know people come and gone and die 80s, 90s, and they're still waiting for the season, right? So I just want to shed a little light on this here, on Abraham and Abimelech story, and see this piece of passage here, scripture. It's a lot of little nuggets in here. It's a lot of little revelation in this, but I can just focus. I may take this the next day, and we can extract some more revelation from it. But I can just focus on one part today about this curse that come on the king and his whole household. And they had no knowledge about it, but because the king had listened to God, the curse was reversed. I can just focus on that. But it's so much that we could extract from this, and we might extract some more in another day. All right, so let's go through this here quickly. It's in Genesis 20. Genesis 20, probably the whole stories were from 1 through 17, 18, but I'm not going to go through all of it. I can summarize it. I did a detailed stuff on this where it's called Ignorance is No Excuse of the Law. So we're going to look at this, and we can look at a different aspect. In that teaching, I think I focus on some different aspect, but I'm going to look at really primarily on this curse that comes in the Abimelech household. All right? So let's look at it. So now Abraham moved, this is Genesis 20. Now Abraham moved on from there in the region of Negev and lived between Kadesh and Shur. For a while he stayed in Gerah. And there Abraham said of his wife Sarah, she is my sister. Then Abimelech, king of Gerah, sent for Sarah and took her. Remember back in those days, the king, they said it's maybe, I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse to be a beautiful woman, because once you're a beautiful woman, you kind of be, if the king get eyes on you and he wants you to be his wife, You know, he'll be in the king's palace serving him as one of his wives or concubines or whatever they call it back then, right? So Abraham saying, man, Sarah, I know you're beautiful. So these people here, the king might want to take you for his wife, but if I'm your husband, they might want to kill me, get me out of the way so they can have you. So to prevent any harm coming on me, just say you're my sister, right? And they're gonna treat me good. If I'm your brother, they're gonna treat me good because they would want to get in good with me to get with my sister. But if you're my wife, they might try to kill me, cause like they used to happen back in the days. You remember King David did that when he took Bathsheba, right? So anyhow, but so there's a little selfish act on his part, and that's something we can get into on another day, right? But God came to Abimelech, and so the king did take her. The king did take her, and you know, probably one of his wives. So, but God came to Abimelech in a dream one night and said to him, "You're as good as dead because of the woman you have taken. She is a married woman," right? And how much this happened? God come to him in a dream, guys. And when we talk about dreams, we talk about dreams before. But how much of times this happening to us that we get warnings in our dreams and we didn't take it seriously? We get warning in our dreams and we didn't take it seriously. But Abimelech, get this, God said, hey, you're as good as dead. Because the woman you're taking for, she's a married woman. And let's stick a pin right there too, guys. With just a little bit of revelation. I'm going to dwell on it too much. But you might be messing around with somebody's wife, somebody's husband or something like that. And you tell yourself, that person don't know and I'm getting away with it. But the one who needs to know, he knows. He knows about it. And he can show you what curse that can bring on you and your household because you're thinking you're getting away with it, right? So God tell him, you're good as dead because the woman you're taking, she's a married woman. Now Abimelech had not gone near her, so he said, Lord, will you destroy an innocent nation? Did he not say to me, she's my sister? And didn't she also say he's my brother? I have done this with a clear conscience and a clean hands. And again, he done this. Good morning, Renita. Good morning. How are you doing? Good morning. He done this with a clear conscience. Again, lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge. He did not know. So he did this thinking he's doing nothing wrong. But what I'm trying to get the point over. These curses does not care if you didn't know or if you do it with a clear conscience or you do it out of ignorance. It does not matter. The curses is going to run its course. It does not matter if you do it with good intentions or not good intentions. If that's the law and you break the law, you can go to punishment. It's just like you go in front of the court right now and you say, Judge, I didn't know stealing a car was a sin. I just saw the car there and my friends told me drive the car and I drove the car. Next thing you know, the police stopped me and said it's a stolen vehicle. You get catch with a stolen vehicle. It does not matter, right? The law can run its course. The judge got to do the job, and if they find you guilty, you got to get punished for it. So same thing here. God just warned him, because God knew he did it with a clear conscience, but God gave him a warning in the dream. Now, if he did not take the warning, he would have gone to his own destruction, even though he do it. Just like a lot of us would wake up in the morning and say, man, I just had a crazy dream last night. I just had a crazy dream, man. No, you're getting warnings, right? Because there's a little piece of scripture here in Job 33, 14 through 17. He said, for God speak again and again, though people do not recognize it. He speaks in dreams, in visions of the night. When deep sleep fall on people as they lie in their beds, he whisper in their ears and terrify them with warnings. That's not the same thing you do with Abimelech. He gave him a warning in his dream. He make them turn from wrongdoing. That's what he's trying to do with Abimelech. Make him turn from the wrong that he was doing. He keeps them from pride, right? So the scripture saying God can come and tell us in dreams, in visions. He can come and warn us, right? But it's up to us to take that warning. It's up to us to take the warning. So let's see what Abimelech did here. Early the next morning, Abimelech summoned all the officials, and when he told them all what had happened, they were very much afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham in and said, what have you done to us? How have I wronged you that you brought such a great guilt upon my kingdom? You have done things to me that should not be done. And Abimelech asked Abraham, what was your reason for doing this? Long story short, I'm going to read everything. But Abraham assumed, let me see quickly what he said here. This was his reason for doing it. Abraham replied, I said to myself, there's surely no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. Again, he assumed. That's the next thing we can get on. He assumed. But if you go back, God tell Abraham, you are I'm your shield, buddy. You don't need to be afraid of anything. I'm your shield. That's the next thing we could talk about Abraham's faith. That's the next piece of nugget in this thing here. He had no faith. He didn't trust God. He tell himself, God tell him back in Genesis, I'm your shield. When I take you from your family, I know what taking you from your family. When a man or woman leave their family, they come out of that protection of the family. You in the wilderness by yourself. But God said, you don't need to worry. I am your shield. I'll protect you. But Abraham didn't trust that word, just like us. All these promises, and we still go out there and be afraid and be scared. And God said, I got your back. I got your back. All you got to do is trust me. But he didn't trust God. So he tell himself, these people in this tongue is wicked. They ain't fear God. They ain't know about God. And they're going to kill him. That's what we assume. But you see how serious this man take this dream, right? Besides, she really is my sister. It's like, well, let's remember we talked about lies the other day. Well, she's really technically my sister because she was his half-sister. But it's not a full lie, you know. It's a half truth, which is a whole lie, right? We talked about that last week when we talked about lies. It's a half truth. A half truth is a whole lie. Because she was your wife, you left the part out. Yes, she's half sister, but you left the part out that she's your whole wife too. You're trying to tell a half truth, right? She's a daughter of my father, though not my mother, and she became my wife. But well, you left in that part out. You just said the sister part. And when God had me wonder, now we're trying to put a little blame on God. You see, God had me wonder, right? This is God had me wonder. If God didn't take me away from my family, all this wouldn't have happened. And when God had me wander from my father's household, I said to her, this is how you can show your love to me. Everywhere we go, say of me, he's my brother, right? God make me wonder, you know, if God had left me with my family, this wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have had to tell this half-truth, which is a lie. I wouldn't have to tell this half-truth if God didn't make me wonder. But Abimelech brought sheep and cattle and male and female slaves and gave to Abraham. And he turned to Sarah, his wife. And Abimelech said, my land is before you. Okay, so he gave Abraham all this stuff, right? He gave Abraham all this stuff, man. You look, I don't want no problems. He gave him and he blessed him with all this stuff. But the part I really want to get to Sarah, he said, I'm giving your brother 1,000 shekels of silver. This is to cover the offense against you before all who are with you. So you are completely vindicated. So he's trying to say, look, I do my part. I vindicate you because I marry you. I mean, I defile you. Even though he didn't get to consummate the marriage, but he married and he kind of defiled her there by marrying her, and she was already married. So he's trying to vindicate her right now by making it up to her husband. But the part I really want to get to, this whole teaching is based on, then this is 17, Genesis 20:17. Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his female slaves, so they could have children again. The Lord had kept all the women in Abimelech's household from conceiving because of Abraham's wife, Sarah. That's the part where this whole teaching is about. Because of what Abimelech did, which he did with a clear conscience, he didn't mean no harm. If Abraham did tell him, that's my wife, from the how this man feared God, he would have left the man with his wife. But he said, it's my sister. The king usually have all the beautiful women. She's a beautiful woman. The king took her, but it still bring this curse on his household. Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech. The mean he already put the curse there. His wife and his wife, he healed Abimelech, his wife and his female slaves, so they could have children again. So they mean he had already made them barren, right? For the God had kept all the women in Abimelech households from conceiving because of Abraham's wife Sarah. So you see, these women, Abraham's wife, the slaves and the concubines and all of the women in his household, they had nothing to do with this thing and Sarah's wife. That's not the one who took Sarah as their wife. The king did it. And he didn't even know he didn't do it by trying to do no harm. This was not like a David situation where you know this woman was married and he still took her. He did not know. This man lied to him. But the curse still come in the household, man. That's what I'm trying to tell people. How much people going around here with stuff and they don't know. Just like these women, now they'll go to the doctors and the doctor's going to say, okay, this happened and you got this and that's why you can't conceive. And some of them, they might say, I don't know what happened, continue trying and you trying and you trying and you trying and you still can't get. It's like, okay, this is life. God probably didn't want me to have no kids. They might conclude, okay, God probably didn't want me to have no kids. This is not my portion. Not knowing is something what they don't know, what the king did, right? So I'm trying to educate people. These curses, it doesn't matter how it come, but it's going to run its course. And in this case, these women had nothing to do with it. Would you say this is fear or it's not fear? There's another debate and there's a whole nother teaching, right? So a lot of things will be going on and saying, oh, it's life because you know you're doing everything right. You don't see no reason why God would bring this curse on you because you doing everything right. And you living right, and you're a Christian, you're born in a Christian home, and you know the life what you live, and then you see other people being blessed, and you like, God, what's going on? Why are you blessing them and not blessing me? And that's the next thing we're going to deal with. But if I want you to go back here now, if we look at Deuteronomy 28:15, Deuteronomy 28:15, it said, this is when they talk about blessing and curses, when they was going into the promised land, and Abraham tell them all the blessings, if they follow God's law, all the blessings they can get, but if they don't follow his law, and here was one of the curses, right? This is Deuteronomy 28:15. However, if you do not obey the Lord your God and do not carefully follow all the commands and decree I'm giving you today, all these curses will come on you and will overtake you, right? You will be cursed in the city and cursed in the country. Your basket and your kneading bread will be cursed. And here is one of the curses in 18 here. The fruit of your womb will be cursed. The fruit of your womb will be cursed, right? So this is one of the curses. God said, if you don't follow my laws, I'm going to bring on you. And what happened to these women here? The fruit of the womb was cursed. He stopped them from conceiving, guys. So I want to take the scales off of people's eyes when we're going on. Some of the things we're going through, man, it can be changed. And that's what he said, through prayer and fasting. And we can change some of these things not because it happened and it's there. That's why he's saying now, you got a chance to repent and clear your part. You can repent on stuff that you don't know. And you can get your deliverance from it. Through this knowledge now, that's when you can get your deliverance, right? Through this knowledge, you can get your deliverance, right? So that's what he's saying. Even though this stuff is done and it's come in your bloodline, you still have a responsibility and a chance to change the course of direction of your life and and the people that can follow you, right? So don't just sit back and accept everything that's happening to us. Oh, it's just life is my portion. My season is not coming. My breakthrough not coming. Your breakthrough not coming because it could be of something that you don't know about. You don't know about, right? But I'm glad in this case that the king did listen and take God seriously and lift the whole curse from his household that was already there. It's like that's a switch there. And as soon as you do the stuff, like he pressed activate sin, activate barrenness on my whole household. But he was wise enough to take God seriously and deactivate it and free those women up who had nothing to do with this. Hear me clearly, who had nothing to do with this. But the curse come in his whole household, his whole kingdom. And that's what we're trying to tell people. You as a parent, you can let stuff into your bloodline. Grandfather, grandmother, they can let stuff into our bloodline that affect us that we had nothing to do with. And in some cases, we don't even know, right? But I'm going to leave that there. I said, like, this was just based on a lot of people just saying, hey, it don't have to be something deeper, guys. It's just life. Not all the time. It's not just life. It's more than that. Set not your eyes on the things that are seen, but some of the things that we're not seeing, we don't even know about, is the stuff that's affecting us. Have a great day, guys. Have a great day. We'll talk again on Friday. Okay, bye.